Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. I miss you guys. We're going to do 8-5, lesson 8-5, and that is going to be subtracting polynomials. So write that down. If you need to pause while you're writing, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to jump right in. We're going to write an example and work it out, see how we do with that. So the first example is 4x squared plus 4. And they give it to you in parentheses. Minus parentheses x squared plus 2. Okay, so here's the first step. If you remember, I mentioned yesterday we were distributing a 1 to get rid of the parentheses. So if I put a 1 in front of the first set of parentheses here, 1 times 4 is 4x squared, and 1 times 4 is 4. Oops. Okay. Now, if I put a 1 before the second set of parentheses, what am I going to distribute? Look at that, it becomes a negative 1. So we just threw in 1 in there. The negative was there already. We have to multiply a negative 1. So what happens there is you get negative x squared, and then negative 1 times 2 is a negative 2. Okay, now you see the parentheses are gone. And look what multiplying by a negative 1 did. It changed the sign of everything that was in the second parentheses here. Okay, once you're done with that, you have to combine like terms and write in standard form. So we have x squared, that's our highest exponent there. So 4x squared minus x squared is 3x squared. And 4 minus 2, those are like terms also, so we're going to write plus 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. And that's how you subtract polynomials. Okay, if I went too fast, go back and listen to it again. Example number 2. Oh, this pen. Okay, example number 2. It's going to be a little bigger, but the same idea. 3x squared minus 2x plus 3 minus x squared plus 4x, and then minus 1. Okay, so we're going to distribute a 1 to the first parentheses, which, if you recall, just drops the parentheses. Okay, we distribute a 1 to get rid of the parentheses. But what happens with the second one? Well, we put a 1 in there. Now we're distributing a negative 1 across the parentheses. So negative 1 times x squared is negative x squared. Negative 1 times 4x is negative 4x. Negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 2. Now look at this. We have to combine like terms and make sure it's in standard form. So we have 3x squared here. I should use a different color pen. 3x squared, and we have an x squared. Those are like terms. So 3x squared minus x squared is 2x squared. Cross those out because we took care of them. Negative 2x minus 4x. Well, in your calculator, you could just do negative 2 minus 4, and you would get a negative 6. Okay, it's like being down 2 and then going down another 4. So negative 6x. And then we have the last two. These two are done, and now we have the last two terms. And that's a 3 and a 2, so that's a 5. 3 plus 2 is 5. And that's how you do example number 2. Okay, so not so bad, I don't think. Distribute the negative 1, combine like terms, and put in standard form. Okay, let me do another one. Hold on, I'm going to clear this off. Okay, number 3. Okay, it's 3x squared. Write this down. 3x squared plus 4x minus 8. And then minus negative 2, x squared plus 4, x plus 2. Okay, so here's another one. It's a biggie. So what we're going to do is, in order to get rid of the parentheses, we distribute a 1. Well, in this case, we're distributing a 1. I'm going to put a 1 in front. And when we distribute it, we get 3x squared plus 4x minus 8. This pen. Minus 8. There we go. Now, when we put the 1 in front of the second set of parentheses, we're really multiplying by a negative 1 here. It happens every time in subtraction. Negative 1 times a negative 2 is a positive 2x squared. Negative 1 times a 4x is a negative 4x. And negative 1 times 2 is a negative 2. Okay. So now we have to combine like terms and make sure it's in standard form. Putting it all together here. 3x squared and 2x squared. That's 5x squared. Highest exponent goes first. Then the x's. We have a 4x minus 4x. Oh, 4x minus 4x is 0. So I guess we don't have to write anything for that. Negative 8 minus 2. Well, negative 8 minus 2, if you put that in your calculator, you would get a negative 10. Or if you just thought about it also. And that is your answer, 5x squared minus 10. So from this long problem, we get this small answer. From subtracting two trinomials, we get a binomial. Okay. All right, I have one more for you, and then you're on your own. Okay, number 4. It says, if A, I'll write this down, if A equals 3x squared plus 5x minus 6, and B equals negative 2x squared minus 6x plus 7. Okay. It says find A minus B. Okay, so let's see. They're telling us to find A minus B. So I'm going to make a parentheses for A. And in place of A, I'm going to put 3x squared plus 5x minus 6. And then I'm going to put minus, then I'm going to put a parentheses for the second, for the value of B, or the quantity B. So that's negative 2x squared minus 6x plus 7. This is just substitution. Now look at the problem. It's just like all the other ones we've done. Okay, so all we're going to do now is we're going to put a 1 in front of each parentheses. When we multiply by 1 on the first set of parentheses, we're just dropping the parentheses. Rewrite what's inside. The second set of parentheses, well, when I threw the 1 in front of that set of parentheses, it became negative 1. There was already a minus there. So negative 1. Okay, negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2x. Negative 1 times negative 6 is positive 6x. And negative 1 times 7 is negative 7. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to go back. Negative 1 times negative 2 is 2x squared. Sorry about that. Okay. We have to combine like terms, going from largest exponent to no exponent. So 3x squared plus 2x squared is 5x squared. 5x plus 6x is 11x. Negative 6 minus 7 is negative 14. Okay, so it ends up being the same type of problem as number 3, 2, and 1. It's just a little extra step. You're just plugging in the polynomial for the letter A and the polynomial that represents B for the letter B. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of problems to do on your own. So really try them out. If you're having trouble, go back to the video and watch what I did or look over your notes. Okay, here are your 4 problems to try. So just pause the video and do these on your notebook or your loose leaf paper. And when you hit record again, I'm sorry, when you hit play again, the answers will be there. You'll be able to check your work. Okay, have a great day, everybody. Okay, I hope you did okay with those. Check your answers. If you get anything wrong and you can't figure out why, if it's just one problem, don't worry about it. If it's more than one problem you're getting wrong, try to look to see if you can figure out what you did wrong. And if not, you can email me or you can come online during from 11:30 to 12. I'll send you a meeting reminder and you can ask questions. Okay, have a great day.